Good morning. Welcome to the Match Solitaire Saturday Challenge Live, where we play the 3 Match Solitaire Daily Challenge puzzles. And the first person to beat them all takes home bragging rights for the week. Wow, that's the best I've ever done, I think, getting that line out.
I'm not sure you get bragging rights for that performance.
Okay,
but maybe.
Getting there.
Getting there.
All right. Anyway, I'm David. My screen is on the left.
I'm Allison. My screen is in the middle, although I've been told since we now have the name top, I don't say middle. So
that's right. I was supposed to say, I made this game. You're supposed to say,
I'm the voice of Fiona, and I write the trivia.
Yes.
And I'm Caitlin, and I translated the game into French. Yes.
Check it out. I see you've got the French translation live there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's been fantastic. I'm super excited about that. And by the way, I learned a new acronym this week, FIGS. And it's relevant because the top Allison's doubtful that it's relevant. She's laughing at me over here. Okay, fine. I'm going to tell you anyway. It's because the top 5 languages for mobile gaming markets are French, Italian, German, and Spanish. FIGS. Okay, anyway, that's your trivia for today. I think I'm getting the signal from... But then
where does English fit in there? Or is it just you assume that English is...
Yes, English is
the default, okay.
Yes. I guess this is for English games to branch out into additional languages. So I'm getting the data from the U.S. market, where to expand next. Yep. Okay, so I guess since I lost... Oh, yeah, I wanted to make sure everyone who's listening sticks around for my favorite part of the show, which is after I lose the fun facts. Yeah, that's it. Fun facts. Allison and Caitlin always have some good stuff, so stick around for that. And with that, I have the dishonor of doing the countdown since I lost last week. So here we go. Is everyone ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go. All right. Gotta redeem myself. I'm already off to a bad start. What on earth? Okay. Can we?
I feel like yesterday's was kind of hard.
I agree.
It was weird because for once I didn't have any trouble with it for some reason, but it might be because I did it in 2 parts. Like I thought I was actually done, and then I got the reminder that, hey, you're supposed to finish your challenge. I was like, what? And I realized I was halfway through it, and when I got interrupted, and the second half went pretty easy. So.
Wow, Caitlin did that fast.
What?
Nice.
Done already?
What? I assumed I was probably Allison was right there with me.
No, I'm not even close.
I'm having to restart, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
It's okay. I don't know how I'm gonna do this one. What?
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh, what?
I don't want to have to restart, but it looks like looks like it's happening. Oh.
It's okay. I'm restarting on number 2.
All right. Doesn't really make me feel that much better, but thanks. I appreciate who's getting all the matches?
Must be Allison.
Yeah, I'm finishing the first one.
Oh. I gotta at least get something here. We're getting nothing going.
What? No.
Okay, come on. I gotta at least get one here. Oh no.
I'm kind of stuck on the second one now.
Thank goodness. Just hang on a little while. I'm giving you a chance to catch up here.
Okay, I'm done with the second one.
Oh no! I'm still on the first one. Why can't I do this one? Oh, okay, David, think. You can do this. Come on. 6, 5, 4. Nope. I'm just getting nowhere. Okay, backing way up. Start it over. 4, 5, 6, 5, 4. How'd you guys make such quick work of this one?
I'm done.
Oh my goodness! I haven't even finished the first one yet. Oh.
All right, you finished the second one.
All right. Another crushing defeat. This is getting really bad. Yeah. Okay, I gotta quit. I really want to finish at least one, but I guess I'll stop. All right, another crushing defeat. I guess I have to do the countdown again next week.
Yep.
So, all right. Oh, it looks like Caitlin's done too.
Yeah, sorry. I wanted to see if I could do it quickly.
Yeah, you were close. Oh, look at all that French.
Yay!
How do you say that?
Défi du jour achevé.
Okay, défi du jour achevé. All right, reassemble. Or
Rassembler.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, it's time for the best part of the show, where I don't have to suffer a crushing defeat, and that is the fun facts. Allison, you want to start us off?
Okay.
I should probably warn everyone, Allison was a little depressed about her fun facts this morning. She said she just couldn't come up with anything great, so there might be a little bit of a letdown here. So just prepare yourselves.
Yeah. Yes, that's correct. So yesterday, as you know, listened to the stream before, I recently moved. So thinking about all of the odds and ends and things I'm getting from the new apartment. And
I just say we're in yet another location on a couch today.
Yes.
So she actually has a couch
setup
here.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty cozy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Not cool if people live in other parts of the country where everyone, in theory, has a place to live large enough for a couch, but it's novel
pretty exciting
for
to have
David.
a couch. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one of the big ticket items on the list is a toaster oven / air fryer.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So I got up early yesterday morning, placed the order online. About 45 minutes to go pick it up at the store. Like 45 minutes later, it was like, your order has been canceled. So we're like, okay, well, we'll just go to the store and see if they have it in person. And then as we walked into the store, both of us realized that we were going to a store first thing in the morning on Black Friday, which is not something either one of us had ever done before.
That's true. I've done Black Friday before, but in like midnight Black Friday.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, it was a blast actually. It was like a giant. We started out like a giant Target that had a Starbucks inside, and so I was happy. Anyway, yeah.
So I thought my fun fact would be about the origin of the term Black Friday.
Oh, that was an interesting lead in there. I had no idea where you were going with the Ninja air fryer toaster oven.
Oh, we're not sponsored. Why are we promoting?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Jeez, David.
Toaster oven.
We need to keep our options open.
Right.
If anybody from Breville is listening, we couldn't afford that one.
Yes. It's also way too big. So if Breville, if you're listening, you need to make an
apartment size.
Make a smaller one and then give you one for promotional consideration.
Yeah.
Yes, we got to make one for a space-conscious Manhattan apartment.
Yes.
Uh-huh. I mean, I'm sure that would be. I've lived in small apartments too, not in Manhattan, and definitely, So.
Yeah, right. You can't just have this giant
oven.
apartment
Dwellers. in general
Yeah.
need smaller things sometimes.
Yeah, and so we went to several stores, and you walk in, and every other kind of toaster oven is there, but not this particular one, we won't name, because they were smart enough to build like a compact one, and not like a compact height-wise. It's like pizza box sized, so it's perfect. You can put like a pizza in it, but it doesn't go up 6 feet in the air.
And you can also fold it up so it doesn't take its full. You can fold
you
it
can
up.
Fold it too?
Yeah, you can
what?
fold it.
I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that.
Yeah.
So they've got their market nailed here, and they're completely sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
So
I did end up being able to get it yesterday.
Oh, good.
Online, so it'll be here in a couple of days.
Happy ending.
Yes.
yeah, direct from the manufacturer.
Yes. So, origin of the term Black Friday.
Okay,
As
back on
it-
track.
Yeah, as it relates to specifically the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So the first.
There are other Black Fridays?
Yeah, the stock market crashes.
Oh.
Or like dips in the stock market have been referred to as Black Friday.
Okay.
So the first kind of recorded instance of that term being used was in a journal called Factory Management and Maintenance in 1951 and 1952. And they actually used the term to refer to the fact that the day after Thanksgiving was the highest volume of workers calling in sick.
Interesting.
So
Oh.
manufacturers like nicknamed it Black Friday because of
So
the
it
lack
had
of
a negative connotation.
Yeah, negative connotation. So that's the first recorded instance. But the where we really get the term more commonly comes from actually the Philadelphia Police Department. So they starting in 1961 called the day after Thanksgiving Black Friday just because of the crowds and congestion everywhere. So that's where the term comes from, but it seems to be like really specifically located in the Northeast region for most of its history. The first time it appeared kind of broader was in the New York Times in 1975. And that was the first time they referred to Black Friday as the busiest shopping and traffic day of the year. But it wasn't until kind of the 1980s and 1990s that it became like a really big marketable thing where businesses would advertise Black Friday deals and incentivize shoppers to shop that day rather than it just being kind of the natural start of the Christmas shopping season.
So like come add to the congestion, everyone. Okay.
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and that's kind of, they tried to reclaim the Black Friday moniker because it did start out with such negative connotations. So they tried to promote it as a way
intentional to try to change the.
Yeah, so businesses operate in the red most of the year, but the beginning of the Christmas season is when they start operating in the black. So
that's the definition I had heard before.
Yeah.
So they were successful in. That's amazing that they were able to change the connotation of a commonly used term.
But I think
There's
maybe the
more.
negative connotation might be slightly more accurate because since 2006 alone, there have been 12 deaths and 117 injuries in the United States related to Black Friday, like stampedes and mayhem and incidents.
Oh my goodness.
Oh boy.
So, and then
I feel like there's got to be a good Florida story here.
Oh, definitely. And then in kind of the mid-aughts, like 2010, 2012-ish, they started to kind of creep into Black Thursday, where companies would open early on Thanksgiving and start Black Friday early. But apparently no companies really saw increased profits from it. They weren't, people weren't really attracted to going early, so most businesses since have now kind of just decided to be closed on Thanksgiving and then just...
Okay, so it's gone back to being...
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, because it's
interesting.
like it's like a thing to, you eat your giant dinner, you lay around, and then you eventually work up enough energy to get up and go out and shop. But you're not going to do it much earlier.
Actually kind of been my experience too, because I grew up, we never went out on Black Friday to do anything. And then once I started going to my in-laws for Thanksgiving, that was their thing, was that they would, which in the last like 5 years or so, was that they would, we'd eat Thanksgiving dinner at noon or so.
Oh.
Everyone would go home and take a nap, and then we'd go out to Target at like,
yes.
I guess there I got go giving Target promotion. Anyway, Target and other stores, right, at like 6 or 7 p.m. on Thanksgiving. And so actually that's the only time I've done. And then on Friday we don't go anywhere, so it's like.
Yeah, similar story for me.
Yeah.
My family never did it either. I was introduced to it when I was like, visiting other people. So I've only done it a few times with other people who are like really into it. But it was a lot of fun going out in the middle of the night and shopping for some reason. I don't know. It's just fun being out in the middle of the night with huge crowds.
I just feel bad for the workers who have to do that, though.
Yeah, me too.
Like, they deserve to have Thanksgiving off, right?
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I wonder how many are not happy about it, though, because they do get paid.
Yeah,
That's true.
time and a half.
Probably get paid at least time and a half or double.
And I remember I was happy to get extra money, and I was willing to. I wonder. I'm sure there are some people that wouldn't want to work, but I wonder how many are forced to work. Now, hopefully, there's not. Hopefully, there's enough people that want the extra money.
Right,
that,
and maybe people who aren't able to be with family anyway, and so rather than spending the holiday by themselves. I mean, I've definitely spent Thanksgiving by myself too, so I know how that is.
Yeah.
And so maybe in that circumstance, you're happy to volunteer to do it, so that someone who, has other things that they need to do.
What is it? What is this? Is this me like putting a positive spin on a story for the first time?
Well, I was going to add one more positive spin.
Oh,
so
okay.
In addition to our kind of corporate splurge. Yesterday, we also did shop local at this plant store / cafe that we love.
Yes.
So we bought 2 new plants for the apartment yesterday. So
nice.
We didn't really plan for based on where they would be in the apartment. So we need to do a little slight rearranging. So that was fun too, to get to support them.
Yeah, I wanted to get Allison a housewarming gift. And I don't know if one of these qualifies yet. When we're still, I was assuming that I was going to get it and she was going to take care of it, but I don't think that was clear to her. So we don't know who's going to be responsible for the plant yet.
Oh dear.
Oh boy. Yeah, it might have a little bit of a rough start here while we figure that part out. But we got a ficus.
Yep.
It's a little one. They had giant ones.
And little ones.
And little ones. They did not have any, as they told us, Goldilocks size. I guess so. We got this tiny one, and apparently it takes like many years for it to get big.
Yeah.
So it'll be a nice, practice plant, I guess. Well, we search for another bigger one.
Yeah.
She's got some big space to fill here, but it's weird because it's got like direct light, but also it's a thing here that you can't control the heat. There's just a radiator, and it comes on when it wants, and you can't do anything about it. So the only way to control the temperature is to open the window. So that it's drafty and sunny.
Yeah.
It's a weird place to find a plant that would be happy there.
Other than a cactus, that's all we've got so far.
Yeah, which I love cacti, so that'll be. I'm actually excited to maybe look for one of those.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep. So that is the end of your
my little thing.
Fun fact. Yeah. All right, Caitlin, what have you got for us today?
So I was. As I mentioned before, I did the French translation, and so I've been thinking a lot about how to translate these terms in from the game into French, which ended up being a really, I think, interesting and fun challenge in some ways.
Oh, good. I'm glad you had fun with it.
Like the names for the these other level sets.
Oh yeah.
I got to have, and you couldn't necessarily do a direct translation, and so that's I think that's the really interesting part about doing translation for any language is how do you translate something that doesn't have a direct translation. So how do you find something that's like close enough or
Kind of has the same meaning or same
has
feel.
Is a synonym in some way. So it's this second to last one is normally crunch, right?
Right.
So in French, the direct translation for crunch, which I don't remember, but I looked it up at the time, specifically means like the sound crunch. And so it didn't really fit for this purpose. And so I went with the translation for crush instead.
Oh, okay.
So that's not my fun fact, but that's my, my,
well, that's
my
a fun fact.
So anyway, so the other thing that came up was I made the choice in a few cases to just use the English word like autoplay, rather than try to make a translation of that, because the internet and computer things, English has kind of become the de facto language of those things. And so, people who play games, who are on the internet, are just going to know that word anyway, even if English is not their first language.
Okay.
So a few cases like that. And from my research, the idea of a match 3 game, there isn't that term isn't translated. It's just match 3. Maybe they say match 3, but anyway. I found the term match 3 written out that way, match and then the number 3, on websites that were otherwise in French. And so I figured, okay, that's a term that has just made its way. Anyway, but as I was doing this, I was like, the Académie Française would have my head for this. And so my fun fact is actually going to be to explain the Académie Française.
Okay, good, because I have no idea what you're talking about.
So in France, I guess I should preface this by, so in English, the English language is very much a living language, and words get added and meanings change by increments. And so, Merriam-Webster and the dictionary people get to, they make updates and stuff.
Yeah.
In France, they have an institute called the Académie Française that is made up of a bunch of people like linguists and whatnot, who are, and it's a governmental organization. So you are appointed to it, and you are a member for life, unless you don't want to be, or you are like disgraced for some reason. So it's like the Supreme Court,
wow.
but for the French language. And so these people, this board of people, they're also called they're nicknamed the Immortals.
Yes.
So they are in charge of basically maintaining the French language, and they are very conservative, not politically conservative necessarily, but I mean they're conservative about making changes. So they're very much trying to maintain the way the French language has been for centuries. I mean, this institute has been around since it was formed in the 1600s. So it's been almost 400. It was like 1635, I think. So almost 400 years. It's been around anyway. And one of the things that they very much fight against is the Anglicization. Anglicization. Anyway, you know what I'm trying to say. The use of English loan words, basically.
They hate English. Okay.
They hate English, basically.
All right.
And so they've adopted. There are a few words that have been. There are some words that they've adopted because there wasn't. Because it actually is useful to have it in French. So like they took the English comfortable and made it confortable, which is basically it's almost exactly the same spelling. You just pronounce it Frenchly. Okay. And my accent is terrible, so sorry to any actual French speakers out there. I know I sound atrocious, but anyway.
But we do that too. Yeah, we've taken some French words too. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's definitely gone the other way for sure. But the Académie Française has mostly resisted bringing words in from English, and so they've and so as certain things have become more prevalent, like computers, email, they have actually made words for those that were derived from, I don't know the etymology, but anyway.
How successful are they at actually getting people to use them, I wonder?
Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know exactly how that works, but they publish the dictionary. And it's this massive undertaking, and right now they're in the middle of the 8th edition or something, and they've published up through like the letter M or something, right? And so, but every few years they publish a few more letters. as far as the dictionary goes. So anyway, yeah, so they're they like I said, they are very resistant to bringing in words from English, even as those words become more and more prevalent with the rise of the internet and the computer age and everything. So the last part of this fun fact is that, so also in French, one thing that's important to know is that every noun is gendered. So it's either masculine or feminine.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have this in English. And there's not really any rhyme or reason to a non-French speaker what is going to be masculine or feminine.
Right. Just learn.
So it's a grammatical gender. It's not like saying that all cats are male, even though the word for cat is male. So it's le chat. And anyway, and actually the feminine version of that is a bad word. So I won't say that. But, and it's not saying like all cats are male, and it's not saying that, table is inherently female in some way. It's just that the word for table is feminine. So la table. Anyway.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
So as new words get brought into the language, on the rare occasion that they do, the Académie Française has to determine whether they're going to be masculine or feminine. And there are a few spelling rules, but for the most part, it's going to seem kind of random. And so the current minor controversy, I would say, is what to use for what gender is COVID. Because so in English anyway, we use the word coronavirus and we use the word COVID kind of interchangeably, but if you want to be technical about it, the coronavirus is the virus itself and COVID is the disease that you get from the infection.
Okay.
So in French, the kind of default, I think, has been to just make it masculine. So you say le COVID because patriarchy, I guess. But the argument that some people are putting forward is that the word for disease, which is actually what the COVID is an acronym, and so the D is disease. I don't remember the whole acronym, but the D stands for disease. And so if you translate the components of the acronym into French, the word in French for disease is maladie, which is feminine. And so then the argument some people are putting forward is COVID should be feminine because malady is feminine.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So glad we don't have to deal with these things.
Yeah. So anyway, that's
that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I would have never even imagined that such controversy could exist.
Yeah.
But wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I've been finding so many things out about languages doing these translations. The German translation had a similar thing where I thought the translation was incomplete because a lot of the words weren't translated. But I was informed that, in fact, they shouldn't be translated because a lot of the tech terms are just brought over into German and used, and people expect them to be that way, so it's similar. But maybe even more so than French because they may not have an academy watchdog.
Right. France is the only one I'm aware of that has that, but there may be others. But that's also, I think, why you get differences in like Quebecois French. It's not just just like U.S. and British English. There are certain words that are different, and we just use different words. And so the same thing is true for French, and which if you are a person from France, you kind of look down at all the other the other dialects.
I think Brits language, maybe do that for English too. I don't know.
Maybe.
I wonder if we'll ever have sort of a combined language that makes a lot of sense. Back in the day, this was probably a few years ago when Google. So the way that machine translations were done had a radical jump in quality when they switched from the original way they did it was basically a lookup table. So you'd have words or phrases, and you would translate them, and then have a table. So you'd go through and you'd locate words or phrases that you knew, and you'd substitute for the other language. But of course, that makes a very unnatural translation that maybe you can figure out, but it certainly doesn't sound natural at all. And then, but they had been working on an AI model for doing this through using like neural networks and things like that. And there was a point when the neural network or the AI became better than the best and most finely tuned old way of doing things with the lookups. And so that was like a major advancement for the state of the art in translation, and translations became much more natural. But one of the things that I found really fascinating about it was, I guess this is turning into my fun fact.
Yeah.
So nobody really understands what neural networks are doing inside. It's sort of like, just like you don't understand what's exactly is going on in someone's brain. You can see what the result is. You can feed it inputs, and then you can kind of maybe predict the output, but you don't really know what's going on inside. And the weird thing about these this AI tech is it's similar. And unlike code like what I'm writing when I write this game, it's a very explicit set of instructions that I'm giving to the computer, and I can predict what the outcome is. But not so with AI. So it's super fascinating. And specifically around languages, what a team of researchers found was that so if you have AI that can translate between many languages, you can imagine one of the things that was really fascinating was, say, like you could the AI knew how to translate from French to English and from English to German, but it didn't know how to go directly from French to German, right? And that would, if you had like the old technology, that would not be possible. But what they did is found out that it actually could, given that path from French to English to German, it could go directly from French to German, which was a real surprise without having to go through English. And so the best explanation...
Isn't it that it can go directly from English to French? Because it has to go from English to German, German to French to make it work, but this made it go directly from English to French without the middle step?
Yeah, it was eliminating a middle step.
Okay.
But you could eliminate any middle step, is what I'm getting at, is that the best explanation that the researchers could find for it was that the AI had actually developed its own internal intermediate language, which was a superset of all other languages. So basically, it's able to translate any language into this internal language that only it knows, and then back out to any other language. So anyway, that was a long way of getting around to, I wonder, so AI has already developed internally a language that is a superset of all the concepts of every other language that it's aware of. I wonder if we'll ever get to the point where we have this like superset of all languages that we can use to communicate. Because one of the last thing I'll say is one of the other things that I find really fascinating about languages, even though I only know one, is that there are actually concepts in some languages that that don't exist in other languages. So, and it's really fascinating to think that and this is kind of a theory, but I think it makes a lot of sense, that if you don't have the concept in your language, you actually can't think of it. So the best example I heard was I can't remember which language it is. It's like Vietnamese or something like that. But it's some language that doesn't have a tense that is in other languages. Like they can't say something about what would have been. Like you can't. I hope I'm getting this right. I might have to fact check this and get back.
There's no past conditional?
Past participle, or I don't remember the exact tense. I'm sorry, I have to look this up.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you can't say. You basically can't wonder what would have happened if you had done something differently in the past. So and someone who grew up bilingual was communicating how her parents couldn't actually think like this because it didn't exist in their language. So they were much more resilient because they were always just forward thinking because they didn't have a way to think any other about what could have been. So anyway, I find that really fascinating, and I just wonder how many other concepts just plain don't exist that we can't. Our minds are limited by our language.
Yeah, it's like the language shaping your mental processes.
Yes.
Instead of kind of the other way around, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, language is a super fascinating topic. So, but anyway, I guess that's I got a fun fact in.
You got a fun fact in.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
AI has a superset of all human languages, and we don't understand it.
And it's all going to use it to communicate with each other.
Yes.
Then the singularity. And
Yes.
Yeah.
We're on our way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Yep. So next time you go to Google Translate or one of these other ones like DeepL or whatever, and you translate something, you just keep that in the back of your mind. What's going on here? You're training the AI. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, that's it for me. Anyone else got any last minute tidbits?
I think I mentioned this on the podcast or the stream before. But my favorite kind of dog is a Bernese Mountain Dog. And we went for a walk in Central Park this morning, and I saw five. And two of them were they were full size, but they must have been puppies.
Puppies still, because they were just bounding. And to see like a big dog like that just bouncing around, it's
splashing in puddles. It made my whole morning. I've been lucky in the city if I've seen one maybe once a month, but five this morning. It was great.
It was insane. So, it's a whole new thing with her getting up early because there's no curtains.
That's when all the dogs are out?
So now she's getting to see all the dogs because there's a
off leash before 9 a.m.
Yeah, in the park, off leash, so that it's just all dogs. Okay. But I will say, I did enjoy one other thing. So it's really a privilege to be able to just walk out the door and walk in Central Park. But today I especially felt special because we're starting to become part of the community here. Because as we were walking in, I saw a guy who's like a very recognizable figure because he's tall. He's got really long, shocking silver white hair and a long wool coat. But he's always sitting in the same spot reading a book.
With a coffee.
And we usually walk by him, but today we beat him. He was coming up behind us. But as we were walking by the spot where we knew he was going to sit, there was someone sitting in his spot. And we were like, oh man, what's going to happen? So we walk by, and sure enough, he comes up. But the guy sitting in his spot calls out like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to sit in your spot today. And they have a whole conversation. It's like, oh, no, it's whoever gets here first. So it was just fun to see that interaction. Like, we're part of the regulars at Central Park now.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's fun.
That was really cute.
Okay, anyway, you had sorry, I feel like I interrupted you there for a second.
Oh, I was just curious. So Allison, I get a little mixed up between Bernese Mountain Dogs and St. Bernards.
Oh, okay. Bernese Mountain Dogs are slightly smaller. They have a smaller head, and they typically are darker colors. So typically, their main color is black, and they have accent patches of that fawn and white.
Okay.
And they've got a bit longer hair. And then the shorter haired version of them is the Swiss Mountain Dog.
Oh, okay, so those are two different, and those are two different things. The
Yep.
Bernese Mountain Dog and the Swiss Mountain. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, and they are. She said they are like a Christmas dog. Like you just, I don't know. I expect to see them with a horse or by a fire, or just like, man, they're
like a walking fur rug.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly,
pretty much,
exactly.
Pretty much. Yeah, we walked
Black,
by
brown,
one in
and
like
white.
an obedience class. We think it was an outside obedience class, and it was just like pouting, like full on, like laid out like a rug. It was very cute.
Which reminds me of that poodle we saw. Okay, last dog.
Okay.
Sorry, was it the yoga poodle?
Oh, the yoga poodle. Yeah.
He was like, everyone in this yoga class was doing some sort of yoga pose where they were like basically bowing down, and this tall black poodle was just standing regally upright, everyone bowing down to him. It was just
it was
it's
very
like on a
cute.
hilltop in Central Park. It was, what is this scene?
Like, yes, worship me.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the cat. That's a cat move, though. That's
Yeah.
that poodle is part cat.
Yeah. Poodles are the cats of dogs,
Oh, okay.
I think.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's why they don't like me.
Yeah, they hate David.
Oh.
Yes.
All poodles.
Yes, I had one try to snap my finger
Yeah.
when we were walking down the street. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right. Okay. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sad to go, but it's that time.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks again for everyone who's listening, and we will see you again next Saturday. If you like this live stream, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes.
That's it for us. Take care. See you next week.
All right. Bye.
Bye.